Hello, my loves. Welcome back to another episode of True Tori TV. And if you're new here, we talk about embodiment, energetics, holistic health, really getting intentional each day and raising your consciousness and awareness. So if any of that interests you, I welcome you to the community. I'm so excited that you're here. Please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to get notified when I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. So today's video is about self-trust. I came up with 5 ways that I use personally and that I thought would really help to build self-trust. So we're going to get right into them. Number 1 is an affirmation. So this affirmation can be one of 2 things depending on where you're at. So the first one is I trust myself. Let that marinate. How does it feel? If you're going from someone who consistently kind of lets yourself down, gives up on things that you say you're going to do, breaks appointments with yourself, certain things like that, or is like unreliable to others, or whatever the case may be. If you feel like that, like you can't get behind that phrase, because the thing with affirmations is we have to believe them. They don't work if we don't, they don't work if we don't believe them. So if you say an affirmation, it's not just gonna, like, our minds are so smart that words won't just reprogram our mind. It's when you start believing the words. So affirmations are super powerful so long the belief matches the words. And that's a matter of shifting beliefs or just truly holding the vision of that belief. Like, it depends on how your programming is, how you kind of deal with things, how you feel about the phrase. And so if you feel triggered by the phrase, I invite you to start that, instead of starting with I trust myself, start with something a little more gentle that you can get behind. Like, I am becoming someone who trusts themselves. That's true, right? So you're becoming that person by being them every single day, by being the person who trusts themselves every day. That's how you are becoming him or her each day. And so that's the first thing. This is an affirmation. Number 2 is notice how it feels in your body. So intuition, right, is ultimately self-trust. Like, you get a feeling in your body, and usually it's not logical. Usually it makes no logical sense. You don't know why. It's just, those instances where you're like, I just have a gut feeling, or I just have a feeling I should do this and I don't know why, but it just feels right and I'm going to do it. When we're in a place of not trusting ourselves, it's very hard to decipher between what anxiety or like an emotional response is in the body or what a nudge from your intuition is, because both feel strong. And if you're unsure of yourself and that baseline of, I know when it's my intuition and I'm going to trust myself, when the overthinking is really prominent, it's hard to decipher those. And so we have to start working through that. So I just want to give you a quick tip for that, which is anxiety or emotional responses start in the mind, in the head, and they move into the body. So like, if you have anxiety about something or you're worrying about something, you'll usually it starts with a thought like, oh shit, I'm going to be late to work and my boss is going to fire me. And then it moves into like this pit of your stomach, like feeling, or like maybe you're starting to get like jittery. So it starts from a thought and it moves into your body. Intuition, or like a true self-knowing, starts in your body and doesn't go anywhere else. It starts as a feeling. And usually that's why you can't explain it, because it has nothing to do with the mind. So that's a great tip that I learned from my coach. And I have just honestly ran with this tip because it helped me so much at a time that I didn't know how to decipher. Like, I was like, what is my intuition? Like, how do I know I'm making the right decision? Oh my God. But you have to trust and know that and it's practice too. Even when you do know, it's still practice. Like, ooh, this doesn't make sense, but should I do it anyway? And yeah, so just know the difference. And then you have to just start to practice choosing to trust, even if it doesn't make sense. Number 3, discipline. So discipline is really important when you're changing your habits. And if you're on the personal development journey, which if you're here, you are either starting out, you're on it, that's who the tribe is. And if you're on the personal development journey, odds are you're trying to be disciplined with some kind of habit. And so whether it's working out or meditating or journaling, whatever it may be. And if you it's multifaceted for discipline, because if you are trying to be disciplined, you're being disciplined, and one day comes up where you really want to quit and you're like, do I throw this out the window today, or do I push myself? Some of like these entrepreneur people that are like crazy will say to just push. We don't want it to be counterproductive though. And we want to also know why. So like I said in the beginning, it's about getting intentional. So if you want to quit that day, I really invite you to just sit there and say, why do I want to quit right now? Why do I want to not follow through and show up today? Say it's working out. Is it because I feel like if I push, I'll get injured? Is it because I want to eat cake instead? And if you want to eat cake instead, why is that? Like, I know for me, I have a very emotional response to eating. So sometimes when I get really frustrated right away, I want to eat candy or cake or sweets specifically. And so that was an emotional response as a child. And so it's almost like I had certainty in that habit or behavior. So ask yourself why. Ask yourself if there's a trigger coming up, if like maybe you're upset and like me, like your first response is to throw everything out the window and eat cake, you know? So first, just take a second to identify what you're actually feeling. And then if you're really not feeling up to it, like for a real reason, like you feel like you're going to get injured or you're sick or certain things, like, I don't know, injured or sick are the only two that come to me right now. Don't force yourself to do it, because that could be counterproductive in the self-trust world as well. Because if you're forcing yourself to do something when you're really not feeling it, why are you forcing yourself to do it? Is it because you feel like if you miss one day, you don't trust yourself to get back on the wagon tomorrow? It gets very tricky when we come to self-love in the discipline department, because it's like there's so many different ways that your ego can mess with you to try to throw you off. So number one thing is just getting super intentional, getting super conscious and aware of your own thoughts, of your own triggers, of your own emotions, learning to process them and kind of just see how you're feeling. Check in with yourself. And that leads to the next one, which is how you get to know yourself in that area, which is being proactive. Being proactive with a daily practice of creating space for yourself to get to know yourself. So journaling, meditating, exercising, being alone with yourself and your thoughts and your mind. Exercising is great. For me, it actually helps me to like sort through my mind. It used to be a mind escape though. So that wasn't really how I got to know myself. Now it helps because like what I just said, but really meditating, journaling, processing emotions, feeling emotions when they come up instead of pushing them down, looking at your body, studying it, really just getting to know your own consciousness, your own soul. And that takes work. Obviously, it's like a journey. It never ends. It's a process like everything else. But we embarked on this personal development journey for a reason. I know it's not for the faint of heart, and you are lion-hearted if you are on the journey, and everybody's on their own journey, and it's just a beautiful thing to experience. And so when you are proactive, you create that space every day, you really start to get to know yourself. And so that will build the knowing and the trust in who you are and who you're becoming and who you want to be and who you were and all these different things. And so, yeah, that's number 4. Number 5, last one. Fuck what anybody else thinks during this time and also after. But during this time, you're going to get a lot of pushback. And I'll tell you why. Because you're looking to rebuild yourself or change things that people already have about you, like have a preconceived notion about you, or change the way you look, or change the way you behave, the energy you give off, how you respond, what kind of boundaries do you set. So as you're rebuilding yourself and building self-trust through self-authenticity and self-love, you're going to get some pushback. Some people might be super supportive. Some people may fall out of your life. Some people may stay, and it might be a little bit of a rocky road with that, because there's pushback when people think of you a certain way and then you start acting a different way. And there can be all kinds of noise that comes from that. There can be all kinds of people saying things that are gonna trigger you, because you're triggering them by setting a boundary, by having self-respect, by being so grounded in what you know to be true about yourself or your journey or whatever. Because when you're on a self-development journey, point blank, we're going to trigger people. That's just how it is. So I want you to really focus on getting so grounded and rooted and strong and building the belief muscle in you that everybody else just melts away in the process in terms of caring what they think. Now, even loved ones will get this way. So some of them won't, like it's uncomfortable. I'll say that. It's a very uncomfortable experience until they kind of learn the baseline. They either go with it or they leave your life, or you cut them off, or you drift away and nothing happens, or whatever it is. So just know there's nothing wrong with it. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. and just stand your ground. And you know what? This is you. This is your life. This is you going after your fullest expression of you. This is you going after your truth. This is you falling in love with yourself. This is you being the architect of your life and you and who you want to be while you're here on this earth. And so that's more important than what anybody else thinks. And if someone really, really loves you and really, really cares about you, then they will adjust. And that's all I have to say about that. So those are the 5 ways that you can build self-trust. Start building self-trust right now. If you have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. If these helped you, if any of them triggered you, if you have questions about any of them, anything else you can think of. Let me know also which one you're most excited to start, which one you're most scared to start. I always find that interesting to know with this because our brains work in different ways, so it's not gonna be the same for everybody. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, if it helped you in any way, if you want to see more, hit that thumbs up button. Let me know that you liked it. If you didn't already, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to get notified when I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. I love you so much, and I'll see you next time.